Alright, welcome guys to another video from 2IIM. In this video, we'll be looking at the selection criteria, the set of criteria that IIM Ahmedabad employs while making its final list. So this process starts after the CAT scores are out. People get their CAT scorecards, they have a look at their percentiles. For some of them it's wonderful, for some of them it's not that great. But for those who think it's a great percentile and who think they have a shot of getting a chance or getting a call from IIM Ahmedabad, let's have a closer look at how IIM Ahmedabad decides whom to call and how it exactly goes about that. Okay, so the selection criteria is a little interesting. We'll be looking only at IIM Ahmedabad in this video. All right, so moving on. Now, this is the shortlisting and selection criteria for the batch that will start this year. Now, of course, there are minimum cutoffs that you have to clear to stand even eligible to be considered for the shortlisting for the PI. All right. So this is like a minimum criterion that you have to cross. For general EWS, that's 17 VARC, 17 DLR, and 17 Quant, and 80 percentile overall. Now these are the percentiles for the other categories. You may have a look. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. You can take a screenshot if you want. All right, so we'll move on. Now, there's something known as the application rating, and this is different from your CAT score. So of course, your CAT score plays an important part, but there's also something known as the application rating score. And this includes your 10th score, your 12th score, your UG score, your work experience score, and your gender diversity score. And all these five components put together give you the application rating score. And your application rating score coupled with your CAT, normalized CAT score, multiplied by appropriate weights, appropriate factors, appropriate weights, gives you the final score for the shortlist, for the PI shortlist. All right, and IIM Ahmedabad goes about this in a very interesting way. So there are two stages, but I'll come to that in a bit. We'll first look at the AR score breakdown. All right, so first of all, 10th standard score, 55 and below is given 1, and 90 and above is given 10, and everything else falls in the middle. 12th standard score is, of course, it's a little varied depending on which stream you belong to. For science stream, anything above 90 fetches you a 10. For commerce stream, anything above a 90 fetches you a 10. But if you look at the lower score, for the science stream, it's anything below 55. For the commerce stream, it's anything below 50. Same goes for humanities. Well, when I say same goes for humanities, I mean the trend that these scores are different applies here too. So it's less than 45. All right, and anything above 85 fetches you a 10 in humanities and arts. Of course, for commerce and science, it has to be 90 and above. All right, so this is your schooling scores accommodated for. Now these are your college percentages expressed into AR scores. Okay, so now let's have a closer look. AC1 is medicine, AC2 are professional degrees such as CA, ICWA, AC3 is commerce, economics, finance, AC4 and AC6 is engineering, architecture, and AC5 is arts and humanities. Now, each of these percent scores have different ratings. Okay, so the layering or the stratification in say AC3 is different from AC4. Less than 55 here gets you 1, less than 60 there gets you 1. All right, so if you're say a commerce student and if you have 57 percentage, right, you get a 2. If you're a science student and you have 57 percentage, you get only 1. This is to account for the fact that some streams are not as scoring. The science stream is a little more scoring. The engineering stream is a little more scoring than say your commerce stream. Okay, so to accommodate these realities that not all streams are easy to score in, there are differences which reflect in these tables. Okay, So you guys can take a screenshot. I'll move out of the frame for a few seconds. All right, now I'll move back in and let's go to the next slide. This is your work experience score. So anything less than 12 months, you don't get anything, it's a 0. 12 to 36 months, it's number of months, which is say X. So say you have 13 months of work X, 13 minus 11 is 2, and 2 into 0.2 is 0.4, right? So you'll get a score of 0.4 if you have worked for 13 months. Say if you work for 36 months, 36 minus 11 is 25, 25 into 0.2 is 5. So you get a score of 5. Anything above 36 months of work X, your score remains at 5, all right? So this is how work X is graded as far as the final AR score is concerned. Now, like I said, there's a stage 1 and a stage 2, and this is for IIM Ahmedabad. Other IIMs may have different criteria. IIM Ahmedabad has a stage called Exceptional Performer Selection. Basically, what IIM Ahmedabad is doing is it's looking at all these different categories that we just saw. We saw these ACs, right? AC1, AC2, AC3, so on and so forth. So what IIM Ahmedabad is saying is, listen, for each of these categories, say there were a certain number of candidates who wrote CAT belonging to the AC3 category. I'm going to select the top 5% performers from this category. I'm going to do the same for this, and I'm going to do the same for AC5, and so on and so forth. So basically what they do is, if you happen to be in the top 5% of CAT scorers belonging to this particular category, you get a call from IIM Ahmedabad. It doesn't matter where your actual CAT percentile is. If you happen to be in the top performers of AC3, the top 5%, you'll be called. Same goes for AC5, same goes for AC4 and 6, same goes for AC2, and same goes for AC1. So the reason they're doing this is to make sure that they're getting a good deal of diversity. They're getting the best performers from each of these diverse fields, and they're giving them a chance to at least come for the interview. But after the interview, once the interview is done, then the composite score is calculated the same way it is done for everybody else. Okay, so that is very briefly stage 1. You can go through the detailed process here, all right, but the gist is what I've just told you. Now stage 2 happens when they are done selecting the top 5% from each of these AC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. Stage 2, that's when stage 2 kicks in, and they're like, hey, listen, we have selected all these top performers from each separate discipline. Now let's open the gates, let's bring everybody in, and let's select the top performers based on the composite score. Okay, so the composite score, right, it's right here. So 35% of your normalized AR score, or that is 0.35 into your normalized AR score. AR score, remember, is your 10th, 12th, work X, gender diversity, and your college graduating percentage. And 65% of your normalized CAT score, that gives you the CS score. Okay, they use the CS score in stage 1 to look for the really exceptional performers from each discipline, and then once they are done doing that, they open the gates, they pool everybody together, and they apply the same composite score and then select the remaining candidates that they want to call for the personal interview. All right, so that is stage 2. Okay, so this was sorry, just one second. Sorry, there's a malfunction. Give me a second. Yeah. So stage 2 is again based on the composite score that I talked about. That is after the stage 1 candidates have been called. And once the interviews are done, once everything is done from an interview perspective, the final selection, the final merit list is based on the final composite score, and that consists of your 50% is your normalized PI, personal interview score, 10% is your normalized analytical writing score, AWT, 25% is your CAT score, and 15% is your AR score. Okay, so like I just said, 50% for PI, AWT is 10%, CAT score is 25%, and application rating score is 15%. All right. Obviously, there are also category-wise selections. There's the accommodations made for reservations at different categories as per the existing policies, existing laws. All right. So this was a quick lowdown on how IIM selects its candidates for the interview stage and then the final stage. I hope you guys found some value in this video. If you did, please do like it. Please do share this video with your friends, and please subscribe to our channel for more interesting, informative videos like these. All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.